Welcome to Rewired Inspired show. I'm your host, Elena Petrescu. I'm a body-mind connection expert, certified hypnotist, and numerologist. This show is all about transformation, rewiring the mind, awakening the heart, and inspiring you to step into your highest potential. Each episode, we dive deep into powerful conversations with exceptional leaders, healers, and visionaries who've turned challenges into breakthroughs. Their stories remind us that change doesn't begin outside of us, it begins within. So take a breath, open your heart, and get ready to be rewired and inspired. Because today, my lovely guest is Beth Daniel Jones. Beth completed a master's degree in educational psychology and an educational specialist degree in school psychological services at the University of Minnesota. Beth is the founder of Best Healing Solutions, as well as the lead head healing solutions practitioner and trainer. And as the founder of Best Healing Solution, Beth brings together the best techniques in energy medicine to help people heal over the phone all over the world, from the US to Poland to Australia to UK. Beth is a walking testimony to the power of these techniques in energy medicine. You see, in 2001, she completely recovered from severe multiple chemical sensitivities, environmental illnesses, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, allergies, cancer, and autoimmune diseases. Beth suffered from I'm not sure if I pronounced this well, anaphylaxis daily and required oxygen for respiration. Upon her recovery, Beth co-founded Quantum Techniques, a remote form of energy medicine, and she has worked as a quantum techniques practitioner and trainer for the past 16 years. Beth has also trained in Neuralink at the master's level, the UN method, contact reflex analysis, field control therapy, and emotional freedom technique. Beth is one of approximately 100 people in the world trained at the master's level of Neuralink with Dr. Alan Phillips. She co-authored the book Energy Medicine and Consciousness with Dr. Stephen Daniel. Beth is also a contributor to the book Ready, Aim, Captivate, endorsed by Deepak Chopra. Beth, a warm welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Elena. I am so happy to be here. And I was so pleased to meet you recently in Denver. You just have a bright light, and I wanted to meet you as soon as I saw you. So I think, you and I resonate on the same page very much with helping others and how to really, like you said, allow them to break through what is ever holding them back in life. So I'm so blessed and grateful to be here with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Beth. I should be blessed and honored because I know what you do and how you help people on the emotional, physical, mental level. I would love for you to share your story because I feel that so many listeners can learn from your story because you did have a huge breakthrough in your life. And if you can do it, I feel that everybody can do it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I say that to my clients all of the time. I really feel that if I could do it, we all can do it. We have within us the ability to heal ourselves. And, unfortunately, I think society over time has really given us the message that that isn't true. But it is true. We're all divinely created to be able to heal ourselves. And it's a matter of finding out what's blocking us from healing. So I will share some of my story. As I've said to you before in the past, Elena, it seems so long ago and far away that it's almost difficult for me to go back there and tell it. But like I'm telling it about a different person.
Yes.
Because, I think I was a different person then. It was a very painful time with a lot of suffering at the time. And this was probably now 25 years ago. when I became very chronically ill, and you mentioned some of it in your introduction, and thank you for that, by the way. Um, that, I had severe chronic illness at a very young age. I was in my early 30s, and thought I was going along great in life. I was a psychologist and working hard, and then my health just crashed, crashed and burned, as they say. And I went everywhere to find answers. I went to doctors around the country. I went to Mayo Clinic. I was living in Los Angeles, so I tried every modality I could find. And in LA, there are a lot of modalities to try, so that was good.
Yeah.
And things might have helped me a little bit here and there, but nothing really helped even to identify what was really going on in my body. Like you said, Elena, in your intro there, I had anaphylactic reactions of, severe allergic reactions where my throat would close up, my lungs would shut down, I would have a hard time breathing. I felt like I was breathing literally through a little straw. And so I had a 6-foot friend who was an oxygen tank in the corner of my bedroom that I looked at every day and said hello to. And this oxygen tank provided me with help, thank God, when I was having the anaphylactic reactions, and EpiPens as well. So my body was really in what really felt like a self-destruct mode, and I didn't know why. I had had cancer in my early 20s, and I had recovered, from that. And I started getting all of these allergies and sensitivities and anaphylactic reactions. So I was like, I like to describe like the girl in the bubble. I couldn't do anything without getting sick. Everything was toxic to me. Like my perceptions of my body to the world was everything seemed toxic and dangerous, and I was so sick. I didn't know what to do. So I had my oxygen tank and I had my EpiPens, but other than that, I didn't have any answers. And, I remember an allergist that I saw, and that was back in Minnesota at that time. And he was very kind, and he was the best rated allergist around, getting ready to retire. He had a ton of experience, and he looked at me and he said, "All I can tell you is avoid everything you're allergic to." And I said, "Well, so I'm going to be avoiding life." And I went home and I was so bummed. I thought, avoid everything I'm allergic to. Okay, I guess I'm the girl in the bubble from now on. And that was a big hit to the psyche and the soul. I thought, okay, and I literally, I don't tell many people this, but I literally had a moment where I thought, well, I could go out in the street and just get run over by a truck and just call it a day. Um, I didn't, but I sure thought about it. It was really devastating. So, Mayo Clinic didn't know what to do with me. No one knew any answers for me. So I uh, I moved to Los Angeles with a boyfriend at the time, and tried to help him get his career going. And I was sick, and I still was working and trying to be a psychologist for the state at that time in California. And I just kept getting worse and worse and more sensitive to chemicals and everything in my environment. So I ended up, losing my work, which was something that I loved so much, and trying to find answers. And I went to a support group, and, as a psychologist, I thought, well, I kind of know what my mental health status is. I mean, I think I'm okay. But, you think you have all the answers and then you realize you don't have any. Um, so I went to a support group for people that were struggling with chronic illness and autoimmune conditions and just were not getting better. So we all met to just talk about, what we were going through and that kind of thing. And the good thing was it was a support group that did talk about resources for healing. I think some of them don't, but they also talked about, yeah, resources for healing. What are some solutions? How can you get better? And the woman that was running the group, bless her heart, was named Anne. And she told me after the meeting one day, she said, well, first of all of us group members think you look like you're dying. I was 85 pounds and I'm 5'7". Or
Wow.
actually, between probably 80 or 81, actually, to be honest. So 80, 81 pounds, and I'm 5'7". I looked skeletal, and I couldn't eat hardly anything without getting very sick. So I ate two things for like 12 to 14 months, just two different foods. That was it. Everyone always asks, what were they? They were they were two types of flash dried sweet potato.
Wow.
Yep, that I had to order from a special food place that could, prove that there was no mold, and it was just something else. I mean, when I think about all of that, it's just so foreign to me now, thank God. But so two types of flash dried sweet potatoes I ate for a year. And everything else, my skin testing showed, my allergy testing showed I was allergic to everything.
Wow.
So she said, first of all, our group thinks you're so skinny and we think you're gonna die. Um, and I thought, okay, well, that was a rude awakening, but I literally thought every day I was going to perish anyway. Um, I really did, because I was so scared of my symptoms, and really no hope at the time for getting better.
Mhm.
They said that, and then she said, well, so I think you should probably go home because we don't think you're going to make it. You probably should be around your family. And then she came back and she said, I do have one business card I can give you that actually helped me with some allergies. So maybe you could call this gentleman and get some help. I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I gave him a call, and he was using a form of energy medicine. I didn't even know what it was. Again, I said, okay, I'm a psychologist. I kind of know what's out there. I had no idea what was out there. Um, so that was my intro into energy medicine. And I remember the first time that I had done a session with him, I had a terrible headache. My mouth was dry. I couldn't swallow well. I just felt terrible. I was at a friend's house, and I thought, well, I'm just going to call and see what this energy medicine is all about. So 10 minutes later, I had done this session over the phone, and some toxins were identified in my environment. Some food I was eating, I was sensitive to that I didn't understand. I had some kind of viral issue, and then some kind of emotional stuff that came up. Hung up the phone 10 minutes later, went about my evening and realized, oh, my headache's gone. Oh, I wonder what that was about.
Wow.
Maybe it had something to do with this energy medicine. So, I did that for a while, and I healed. So I thought, well, I'm a traditionally trained psychologist, and I love that. I love helping people, but I wanted to learn more about energy medicine at that time. So I jumped into a training group, and the group wasn't around now, but I jumped into a training group in Tennessee at the time. I believe it was in Memphis, and learned everything that I could. And my ex-husband and I, well, we got together there, and I trained with him. He was the one that had helped me, and decided to take this to another level. That was 24 years ago, almost 25. And I've been working with people every day since, on every issue you could imagine under the sun that doesn't heal. So I took, everything that I learned in my own journey and thought, okay, now I want to add everything that I can to this from multiple perspectives of what does healing really look like. So that's my healing story. And like you said, I was told, okay, you have chronic fatigue. One doctor said, well, maybe you have HIV. I didn't, but they didn't know what was going on. You have autoimmune issues of some kind. We don't know what to do. So that's, that was the beginning of the journey in energy medicine. And 24 years later, I mean, I feel better than I ever have, honestly. I think my whole life, to be honest.
Yeah,
And uh, I love it. I love it. I'm passionate about this work, and I am really interested in helping people be free of what is holding them back in their life, whatever that might be.
that's such a powerful, powerful story because I know that you then went and you developed this and you came up with best healing solutions. And I know that you have practitioners and, you know, all over the world that help other people. When you are going through this transition, I know you mentioned that there were times when you felt, okay, I'm done, but there must have been something at the back of your head that would say, no, no, I'm going to survive this. Talk to us about that because I'm sure there are people that are in similar situations and we all have that negative thinking that comes up sometimes, but then something still keeps us hopeful.
That's right. That's right. Elena, as I look back, I really realized, I mean, honestly, I was in a spiritual battle. I mean, that's really how it felt. It was the dark thoughts, right? The dark thoughts coming in and these beliefs of, oh, no one can help me. I don't know that I'm going to make it. Every day I'm scared. I can't breathe very well, all of that, right? And then there was the light, and the light always outshines the darkness.
Mhm,
And, that light for me and that hope for me was really learning to get back to my heart.
mhm,
Because what I realized through this whole journey was with trauma and things that I had gone through in my life that had really put my cells in a fear state, honestly,
mhm,
uh, was the unmasking of that, the healing of that, to recognize I needed to get back to me, to my heart, and not who I was on the exterior, just, working all the time and some relationships, but not really dropping into my heart. And I think what happened was I realized my heart is a safe and a good place to be. And I had not believed that. So it was like, okay, I need to get back to my heart. And, a big part of that for me is God, is the divine presence and source and creator of all. And I had really gotten away from my spiritual self over those years as well. And I do think now that was a big contributor to my illness.
mhm,
And just really being in a kind of materialistic world and just work and just not really knowing anymore how to be who I really was made to be
mhm,
and who I really was in my heart at a really deep level. So for me, and I find that for a lot of my clients as well, it was getting back to and reconnecting to the divine,
mhm,
reconnecting to myself, my heart, learning to reconnect to others in a different way. Instead of, oh, what can I do for you or what can they do for me? But really learning to reconnect in a true way to God, to others, to myself. And then really with our healing system is reconnecting even on a cellular level,
mhm,
and increasing cellular communication and reconnecting body systems within the body to communicate again and what has stopped them from doing that. So it was a journey that way of reconnecting in those ways, that kept me going. It was like,
mhm.
you know what, I got this. And honestly, when I was in high school and college, I was an athlete and a really good one. And that spirit was still there, right? Of
Which is
I've
good.
got this. I can do this. I'm going to win at this. And, I had a good support system. It's like, okay, I've got a support system. I've got God on my side. I'm going to do this. I can do this. I've done it before. So yeah, that fighting spirit was still there.
Good. Now, you mentioned so many beautiful things. You mentioned spirituality, dropping into your heart, and, not focusing on so much materials. What are the practices that you do now? Because I know you still continue to work on yourself, and I know you innovate every day. What do you do to maintain this level for you? Because I know you're helping a lot of people, and I do know that sometimes things rub off, so you need to maintain that level of staying in that positive, energy. So, what
Yeah.
are the practices that you may want to share with the listeners that maybe they can start integrating?
Yeah, I love that question. Thank you. And it's good because it really makes me think as well. It's like, what do I do? Because it becomes second nature, right?
Yes.
But one of the things that I've learned along the way, one of the tenets that really helps me, and it sounds really simple, but I think it's really profound, is catching myself in thoughts that don't serve me well.
Mhm.
And for example, it's like, okay, I really believe, again, going back to this more spiritual piece here, that we serve one of two masters. Okay. With our thinking, we
Mhm.
serve either the dark or we serve the light, and it's what we focus on. And when you're working with people, which I work with people that are really severely ill, not feeling well, not doing well in life, or they're in a terrible relationship or job, or their health is not good, whatever the case may be. And there's a lot of what some people might think of as negativity. I think of it as bringing them to the light and to healing. But it can be, it's a bad story after another, if you will.
Yes.
And so my own mental health then is very important. So it's like, okay, I need to be aware and in charge of my thoughts. Where am I focusing my attention? Daily, moment by moment. If I'm not working with somebody, it's like, okay, where is that attention? What am I focusing on? Because what I am attending to is what I'm giving love and energy to.
Yeah.
And then the other piece with that is I tell my practitioners this as well, that I train, and that is, as a healer, and you know this too,
Yes.
that we don't have the luxury of living in negative emotions or allowing them to get hold of us. We don't have that luxury because we can't really help others if we're holding on to anger ourselves in our own life, if we're holding on to bitterness or even, grief or anything that's weighing us down. We don't have the luxury as healers of holding on to that. So I'm very intentional in my personal life about that as well. Like, okay, if I wake up in the morning and I'm a little bit off, it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And I teach muscle testing. So I'll test myself. It's like, okay, what is this about? Okay, I need to find what this is, bring it to the light, clear it, heal it, so I can be the best that I can be when I walk in the door for my clients, but also for me. So that's something that I do as well. And I really made that a practice. It's automatic now, but it really helps. Those are two things. The other thing that I have learned to do more over the last couple of years is really to take rest seriously.
Mm. Yes.
When I was younger, I would work with clients 7 days a week. And I tell my practitioners now, I said, don't do it. Even if it's a couple hours, don't do that. Don't work 7 days a week.
Yes.
Um, your gas tank will be below empty. So I have learned how to rest. And honestly, in my entire life, I never knew how
Mm.
until now. And I'm learning what that means because I will tell you, and you probably know this as well, when you really rest, And that means resting from some of those automatic thoughts and patterns as well that are, oh, I'm some old patterns for me of, well, you're not really of value if you're resting, or, that kind of stuff. Or if you're not working, you're not helping anybody, you're not of value, you're not worthy. I have some old things like that from the past. So it was very hard for me to learn to rest and rejuvenate. And I'm really good at telling other people how, but now I've learned how as well. And what I would say is that is when I'm the most creative. And that is when I receive really what I call heavenly downloads of information of how to help people in a new way.
Mm,
Because if you're going all the time, you don't get that information. So it's required to see something new to be able to help somebody to rest yourself. So that's something, I know we talk about that a lot in our culture, but I've never known how to do that until now. So that's something else that I'm not working on, something else that I'm now doing, which
good.
really helps with the creative process to be able to help people because many people that come in the door have complex issues.
Yes.
I need to be a clear vessel to be able to help them and to see and to test and to know what is this for them, because it's like we're putting together a puzzle together
Yes.
to see what are all these pieces so that we can help. And if we're exhausted, we can't help anybody.
I agree. So you've had to learn to sort of, to me, that sounds like self-love, building boundaries because we do need that, and understanding that my health is also important. If I'm healthy and good, then I can give the others. That is so beautiful. You mentioned cellular level, you mentioned muscle testing. Give us an example of a muscle testing just for the audience to get an idea.
Sure.
Um, what do you mean by that? How
Yeah.
would you test yourself, like for example?
Yes. Yeah. So many people are aware of applied kinesiology or muscle testing, where, like, maybe you go to a chiropractor or some type of health practitioner and you hold your arm out for testing, and they test your arm, to see is it strong, is it weak, if you're holding a specific remedy or supplement or something.
Yes.
So that would be, applied kinesiology. What we do at Best Healing Solutions is self-muscle testing, and that's what we teach as well in our first class, also for people to become empowered and learn how to do it themselves.
Yes.
But what it is we teach multiple forms of self-testing, but basically the practitioner, myself in this case, would just be testing, let's say, I'm just going to show one. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say, I want to be healthy. That would be strong. I want to be sick. That would be weak. Okay.
Mhm.
I want to be healthy. I want to be sick. I can hardly move it when I say that, which is good
Yeah.
news.
Yes.
Okay. So that would be something if I was working with you on the phone or Zoom, I would be testing you. And I usually work on a headset and do it, without seeing somebody, but I do Zoom calls if people want to see me doing what I do. It just, it looks a little funny, but they get used to it.
Yeah.
Uh, so I have the client, repeat statements and then do testing. Is it strong or is it weak, what they're saying? So for example, I want to be healthy is strong. I want to be sick is weak, which is good. That means they're not in a state of reversal. We look for reversal, polarity reversal.
Hmm.
What that means is if the body is in a state of polarity reversal, it means the meridians are flowing backwards.
Mm.
If the meridians are flowing backwards, no matter what modality you try, you won't heal. So our first number one goal as practitioners is for the client to be out of reversal into alignment.
That's
So
right.
we find that. So in other words, if I tested you and I said, okay, testing for Elena, I want to be healthy and it went weak, then we're okay. That means there's a reversal in the polarity. So now we need to find out why.
Gotcha.
So typically, reversal can be caused by so many different things, and I can talk about some of those. The other thing I would test then, okay, would be, let's say we would look for toxins, because Toxins reverse polarity. So for
Mhm.
example, all inhalants, anything you're breathing in, all inhalants, I want to be healthy. Oh, okay, that was weak. Then
Mhm.
we would go through and test how many inhalants, more than zero, more than one, how many? And then identify, okay, let's say two inhalants. We test them quickly. Is it man-made? Is it biological? Is it mold? Where is it? We find out really fast. Our first session is an hour. We find out what is anybody's toxins in their life they're breathing in or that touch their skin or products, anything they're eating, ingesting, drinking, supplements, medications if they have them, vaccination residues for injected toxins, electromagnetic fields around us, Wi-Fi, all of that. What kind of pathogens do they have? Viruses, bacteria, mycoplasma, fungal infections, parasites. We
Wow.
test all of that, really all of that in probably 20, maybe 15 minutes or so, just going through, finding all of that. What does someone need to change in their diet? Or how dehydrated are they? All of those things. And then what are their non-healing issues, is what we call them, that they want to work on specifically. But when someone comes in the door, that first piece about polarity reversal is our key, that we must get them out of reversal first. So that is toxins, pathogens, hydration, and then getting down to the nitty gritty after that on a more cellular level of, okay, now let's say someone comes in with back pain. Okay, what in the body is not communicating?
Mm.
It's not connected. We need to reconnect. Okay, where then are the organs, glands, tissues that are not connected to the healing intelligence? So we go through and we do that process. That's also quick. And then we find out at the cell surface receptor level as well, what is blocking those cells from being in a healthy state. Now, with testing, that can be, and we test priority. What's a priority here? Is it physical? Is it emotional? Is it trauma? Is it a belief? Is it generational? What is it?
Wow. So you covered all bases. That's amazing.
And we do it quickly. You know, our first session is an hour, and then sessions after that are usually shorter than that. But
Mhm.
that first session, we really want to drill down and find out the answer to the question, what is blocking my healing? Why do I feel this way? And we go through, thousands of frequencies to test why. Is it for someone with back pain? Are they having a reaction to some kind of metal that might be in their back from a surgery? Um, do they have a slip disc? We can help with that with our treatments a lot of times, so they don't have to have surgery. Are there foods they're eating that are contributing to the pain? Are there viruses in the spinal nerves, or
Wow.
viral frequencies, we'll say? Is there a fungal infection in the tube that holds the spine? Does the person have a lack of support in their life that's contributing to their back pain? Do they feel they can't support everybody in their family that's contributing to the back pain? Do they have a blocked emotion there that is their own or someone else's?
Yes.
All of those questions. So we just go through and we test, 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 test. So if we did a
I
session on Zoom, you'd see a lot of this going really fast, to test the field, to find out what is the energy field here and what exactly is blocking. And I will tell you, Elena, for most people, it's a multitude of things. It's not one thing.
yes. I truly believe that because we live in a society where we are bombarded with so many things. I feel the food that we eat is not as healthy as it should be. And we live in a very fast-paced society. Too much, too many things too soon, all at the same time. That stress is very, very high. I feel, Beth, that so many people need to know your process because this is something that you can heal yourself, is it not? As
Absolutely.
well, right?
Yes. Yes. And I will tell you, that's one of the reasons we love our mastery program where we teach people how to do this. Because, when someone is really ill, let's say, or chronically ill, they need help and they need some sessions to get stronger and to feel well and to feel better. And we believe in our process, and we offer a 24-hour money back guarantee for the first session, because if someone doesn't feel somewhat better from the first session, we're like, we don't want to charge you for this. That's how strongly we believe in it. But we also believe in empowerment,
Yes.
and learning how to muscle test, in my belief, is the most critical skill that anyone could have that wants to be healthy.
Yes.
Because if you learn how to muscle test yourself or
Yes.
others, you can test your anesthesia. So you never have a bad anesthesia reaction at the dentist, or even if you had to have a surgery. You can test food so you don't have food poisoning again, ever. You can test, what vitamins do I need? How
Yeah.
many? How often? Uh,
Yes.
so that empowerment piece with the self-testing, if I have one dream in life, really,
Yes.
for as many people to learn how to self-test as possible, because they can heal themselves, test themselves, their animals, their friends, babies, family members, anyone, anywhere
Yes.
in the world, to learn what they need to know to unlock their healing potential. And it happens quickly.
Now tell me, Beth, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, where can they go so that they can learn more about your healing solutions? Because I think it's extremely powerful and so many people need to embrace this process.
Yes, they can reach us multiple ways. Our website is besthealingsolutions.com, is on the logo behind me there. Besthealingsolutions.com. Can email me directly. It's Beth, Beth, at besthealingsolutions.com. We are also available on social media, all social media outlets as well, and YouTube. You can find us there. We put up a lot of reels if you want to learn more, a lot of video as well, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn as well. You can check out, we have free resources on our website. We have some free, what we call healing codes to help with different issues. You can peruse those in our About section. So, for example, if you ate something and you don't feel well, there's a treatment code points there to clear that food reaction. Ingested toxins code, for example. There's virus code, there's a fear code, anxiety code. We work with a
Wow.
lot of anxiety. All of
Yes.
those are free codes on our website that you can access, download, share. We have a lot of information on our site. We're available to do sessions. We have practitioners around the world in different time zones. And we also have our mastery program if someone wants to learn how to self-test, and then ultimately, if they want to learn how to do this work at a high level. Like yourself, Elena, we have many, people that are in the healing arts that take
Yes.
our classes and that want to learn more to add
Yes.
to what they do. So we're always thrilled when that happens as well. So, we have multiple entry points into what we do. If someone is really ill, we love to do sessions with them until they feel better. But the sky is really the limit in terms of the learning too.
And I think this speaks, you being here today speaks louder than words because you went through this, you developed the program, and we know it works. I have one question for you, Beth. What does consciousness mean for you?
That's a good question. I love it. I love it. For me, consciousness really is spiritual consciousness, and it's about, and we do this in our work every session, every time we work with somebody as well. It's about, how do you live in the present moment fully?
Mm.
Because when someone comes in, for example, with chronic illness or chronic symptoms, and they have had no answers, they feel terribly unwell and they're losing hope. When we test them,
Yes.
very little of their being is in the present day.
Mm.
They're living what we say, they're living in another time zone.
I
Their
agree.
body, their spirit, their psyche, their subconscious, they're in another time zone where they went through major trauma.
Yes.
And our job is to bring them to the present. And how we do that, and that's consciousness, is healing that trauma so those chains are broken, so they are free to be in the present day, really. So it's fun because as we go on this journey with clients as well as ourselves,
Yes.
testing to see, okay, what percent of me is really living in the present moment now? What percentage of me was living in the present moment when I started this? Oh, wow, not
Yeah.
much. So really helping people to be free of those original wounds and those traumas that then create these false belief systems that we operate under that undermine our health and our joy in our lives. And when we do that, then they can fully be in the present to live life and recreate themselves as they've really never been able to do before. So that's consciousness to me. It's breaking those ties that have held you back into a different time period you're not even conscious of to be able to fully live here now. And
That's so beautiful. I think everybody will take something away from this. I think you've had some beautiful nuggets there. And I am so honored to have you on my show. And thank you so much. Just for everybody to know, to reach Beth, you can go to besthealingsolutions.com, or your email, Beth, is beth@besthealingsolutions.com. And I'm sure this lady has a wonderful heart, and I'm sure she will help you recover and put you in that present moment where we all need to be.
that's right.
Thank
That's
you
right.
so much, Beth.
Oh, and you have a beautiful heart as well. So I connected to you immediately, and I am so grateful to you, Elena, and honored to be on your show. It's fantastic. I have watched other episodes, and these are life-changing people that you're having on your shows, including yourself. So I am just so pleased and honored to be here. So
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Beth.
Thank you.
I want to empower as many people as possible through someone else's process, someone else's breakthrough, because, we all have our breakthroughs, we all have our trauma. So if I can help a small percentage with this show, I'm very happy. And I'm so happy to have met you and to have you on my show. And maybe we'll invite you again soon.
I'd love to see you again soon.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you, Elena.